YouTube.com/Prodigy the Kid. And what up, YouTube? It's your boy Prodigy checking in. And today I'm gonna talk about overrated and underrated. like which is better. And so let me get started. So I think it's better to be underrated by people than to be overrated by them. Basically, it's inevitable that one feels the need to conform others' expectation. So in whatever work that they are doing, in society we live in, everyone is in a perpetual examination. So it is only fair that people, demand to be judged based on merit. So the skill that they actually have, the outward appearance, first impression, however, can make someone being underrated or overrated. So although, one may not want to be underrated, but for me, I think it's still better. I think it's still better than to be overrated. So, being overrated, people are bound to disappoint people, when they do not meet the expected demand. So not only that, but when people are overrated, they might, also feel complacent with their work. So, false believing that they are satisfied with what they do, and when they fail, they have to cope with such disappointment in themselves and also others. And then, contrastingly, being underrated channels the idea that people would be surprised in a good way. So when one is underrated, he can strive to be better, to prove others wrong and reveal his full potential. So, and should it fail, there's nothing to lose. So I can say that in our daily lives, it is not uncommon to see how, a new employee might be underrated when he first enters the enterprise. So, in fact, being underrated by his colleague and his boss might become an advantage, for him to progress. But if he makes any mistakes, then, there would be less severity or criticism. But, so it is nothing to lose case. But if he does work that good, then he would be complimented because everyone would be astonished of how well he performed his job. So, and so right now, going back to the historical evidence, if in French, I think it was in the 18th century. I'm not sure. I think that's correct. But anyway, there was social classes which were strictly divided. You had the bourgeois, the poor peasant of the proletariat, and then the noble and the bourgeois underrated the proletariat. So, but they never cared about the poor and thought that the poor can never do anything. So the apathy and the depreciation, gave the poor ability poor ability of emancipating, from the tyrannical authority. So if they had been overrated by those in power, the French Revolution would never even took place. So yeah, man. But last but not least, being overrated, it give advantage for one to prove others they are wrong. So it allowed people to see the ability. No, it allowed people to see the quality within, not what it appeared to be. But after all, it is what I believe, and that's not the that one need not to appear the best, but be the best. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, man, that's really about it, man. So youtube.com/Prodigy the Kid, and that was just my what I think of being overrated and underrated, and don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. Prodigy the Kid. Thank you very much for your time. Yeah.